In this video, we are going to explain about comparison. The first one is the definition of comparison. Comparison is the act or process of comparing two or more people or things or ideas. We can making comparisons with S blank S. S blank S is used to say the two parts of a comparison are equal or some in some way. The formula is S plus adjective plus adverb plus S. Now the example. The first one is the adjective. Anang is 19 years old. Alim is also 19. So Anang is as old as Alim. The second one is adverb. Intan came as quickly as she could. Now the negative form of S blank S. The formula is not S blank S and not so blank S. Also, quiet and nearly are often used with the negative sentence. The form with a small difference is not quiet as blank as, and the big difference is not nearly as blank as. The example is Ayu is 18 years old, Intan is 17 years old, and Ista is 6 years old. So the comparison is the first one. Ayu is not as old as Intan. Ayu is not so old as Intan. Ayu isn't quite as old as Intan. And Ista isn't nearly as old as Ayu.
Common modifier of S blank S are just. It has same meaning with exactly and nearly or almost. Example, Yande is 19 years old. Benny is 19 years old. From that sentence, we can know Yande is just as old as Benny, or Yande is nearly or almost as old as Benny. Next, next is comparative and superlative. The first one is comparative. The comparative compares this to that or this to those. It has form that used er or more. And a comparative is followed by than. Example, A is older than I. Alim and Yande are older than Ayu and Intan. Anang is more generous than Benny. Next is completing a comparative. In a formal English, a subject pronoun follows than. In everyday informal spoken English, an object pronoun often follows than. Example, in a formal, I'm cuter than my sister, or I'm cuter than she is. In informal, I'm cuter than her. Next, frequently an auxiliary verb follows the subject after than. Example, first, Alim works harder than I do. Next, I arrived earlier than they did. Next is a possessive noun and pronoun may follow that. Example, first, a possessive noun. Ayu's hair is longer than Intan's. Next is a possessive pronoun. Benny's apartment is smaller than mine. Next, modifying comparative. First, very often modified adjective and adverb. Example, Benny is very cute. Second, Alim drives very careful. Very is not used to modify comparative adjective and adverb. Example, Benny is very cuter than I am. That is the incorrect example. And then Alim drives very more carefully than he used to. That is the second incorrect example.
2. Instead, much, a lot, or far are used to modify comparative adjective and adverbs. Example 1. Benny is much cuter than I am, and Benny is a lot cuter than I am, and there's Benny far cuter than I am. 2. Alim drives much more carefully than he used to. Alim drives a lot more carefully than he used to, and Alim drives far more carefully than he used to. 3. Another common modifier is a little or a little bit. Example, Benny is a little cuter than me, or Benny is a little bit cuter than me, and this is usually used in informally condition. 3. Using more with nouns. 1. When more is used with nouns, it often has the meaning of additional. It is not necessary to use them. Example, would you like some more coffee? And then 2. Not everyone in here. I accept more people to come later. Next, more. More is also used with noun to make complete comparison by adding than. Example, there are more people in China than there are in the United States. 3. When the meaning is clear, the noun may be omitted and more used by itself. Example, do you have enough coffee? Or would you like some more? 4. Repeating a comparative. Repeating a comparative gives the idea that something becomes progressively greater. It increases in intensity, quality, or quantity. Example 1. Because he was afraid, he walked faster and faster. 2. Life in the modern world is becoming more and more complex. Next, using double comparative. A double comparative has two parts. Both parts begin with the. In the second part of the comparison is the result of the first part. Example 1. The harder you study, the more you will learn. Second, the more Intan studied, the more she learned. Next, the more, the merrier, and the sooner, the better are two common expressions. Example, it is good to have more people at the party. A. Should we ask Intan and Ayu to the party too? B. Why not? The more, the merrier.
The next one we're going to talk about superlatives. The superlatives compares one part of a whole group to the rest of the group. It has form that use particle as or most. The superlatives begin with the. For example, a woman in Turkey claims to be the oldest person in the world. And the second one is Ayu is the most friendly person in her family. Using superlatives. Typical completion when superlatives is used. The formulas are, the first one is superlatives plus in a place. The second one is superlatives plus adjective clause. And the third one is superlatives plus of all. The first example is Tokyo is one of the largest cities in the world. The second one is David is the most generous person I have ever known. The third one is I have 3 books. These 2 are quite good, but this one is the best book of all. And the second, the least has the opposite meaning of the most. For example, I took 4 final exams. The final in accounting was the least difficult of all. And the third one, notice the pattern with one of, which is one of plus plural noun and optional plus singular verb. For example, Alim is one of the best students in the class. The second one of the best students in this class is Alim. There are some examples about using form of comparative and superlative. The first one in adjective. When the subject is one syllable adjective, for most one syllable adjective, particle and us are added. The example of adjective is old and wise. The comparative is older and wiser. The superlative is the oldest and the wisest. For most two-syllable adjectives, more and most are used. The example of adjective is famous and pleasant. The comparative is more famous and more pleasant. For the superlatives, the example is the most famous and the most pleasant. Particle er and particle est are used with two-syllable adjective that end in y. The y is changed to I. The example of this adjective is busy and pretty. The comparative form is busier and prettier. The superlative form is the busiest and the prettiest. For some two-syllable adjective, use either particle er or est or most or more. The example of this adjective is able, angry, clever, common, cruel, friendly, gentle, handsome, narrow, pleasant, polite, cute, quiet, simple, and sour. We are going to explain about clever, gentle, and friendly. The comparative form of clever is cleverer or more clever. The comparative form of gentle is more gentle or gentler. The comparative form of friendly is friendlier or more friendly. And the superlative form of clever is the cleverest or the most clever. And then the superlative form of gentle is the most gentle or the gentlest. And then the superlative form of friendly is the friendliest or the most friendly.
And the next is the subject about adjective with 3 or more syllables. The example, important and fascinating. The superlative form of important is the most important. The superlative form of fascinating is the most fascinating. Explanation is more and most are used with long syllables. The next is irregular adjective. The example is good and bad. The comparative form of good is better. The comparative form of bad is worse. The superlative form of good is the best. The superlative form of bad is the worst. The explanation, good and bad, has irregular, comparative, and superlative form. The next is adverb. The first subject in adverb is ly adverb. The example is carefully and slowly. The comparative form of slowly is more slowly. The comparative form of carefully is more carefully. The superlative form of carefully is the most carefully. The superlative form of slowly is the most slowly. Explanation. More and most are used with a verb that end in ly. The next subject is one syllable adverb. The example is fast and hard. The comparative of fast is faster. The comparative of hard is harder. The superlative form of fast is fastest. The superlative form of hard is hardest. Explanation is the er and the is form. The explanation is the er and the is forms are used with one syllable. The next subject is irregular adverb. The next subject is irregular adverb. The example is well, badly, and far. The comparative of well is better. The comparative of badly is worse. The comparative of far is farther or further. The superlative form of well is the best. The superlative form of badly is the worst. The superlative form of far is the farthest or the further. The next is comparison with less blank than. The first is the opposite of ear or more is expressed by less blank than. The second, less blank than, has the same meaning with not as blank as. The third, less blank than and not as blank as are used with adjectives and adverb of more than one syllables. The last is only not as blank as is used with one syllable, adjective and adverb. The example, more than two syllables. The example, more than one syllable.
Number 1, a pencil is less expensive than a book. Number 2, a pencil is not as expensive than a book. One syllable. Number 1, a pencil is not as large as a book.
5. Unclear comparison. Sometimes it is necessary to complete the idea following then in order to make a comparison clear. Example, the unclear. Intan likes her cat better than her husband. And the clear example is Intan likes her cat better than her husband does, or Intan likes her cat better than she does her husband. And the 6, using the same, similar, different, like, alike. The statement is A. Intan and Ayu have the same books. B. Intan and Ayu have similar books. C. Intan and Ayu have different books. D. Their books are the same. E. Their books are similar. And F. Their books are different. The explanation is the same, similar, and different are the used as adjectives, and notice the word always precedes same. We're going to the next statement. 1. This pen is the same as that one. Notice the same is followed by as, and 2. This pen is similar to that one. Notice similar is followed by 2. 3. This pen is different from that one. Different is followed by from. And next, she is the same age as my aunt. My shoes are the same size as yours. A noun may come between the same and as. And my bag is like your bag, and 2. My bag and your bag are alike. Notice noun plus be like plus noun and noun plus be like. A. She looks like her sister. B. It sounds like thunder. C. This material feels like silk. D. That smells like gas. E. The chemical tastes like salt. F. Stop acting like a fool. And G. He seems like a nice fellow. In addition to following be like, also the follow certain verbs, primarily those dealing with the senses. And next statement. A. The twins look alike. B. We think alike. C. Most 4 years old act alike. D. My sister and I talk alike. And E. The little boys are dressed alike. Alike may follow a verbs other than be.
This is my phone, this is my laptop. My phone is smaller than my laptop.
This is my pen. This is your pen. My pen is like your pen.
I have 3 mannequins. This one is taller than this one, and this one is taller than this one and this one. So, this one is the shortest one.
This book is different from this book. Dah.
I have a pencil, and this is Intan pencil. I and Intan have the same pencil.
This red pen is as long as this blue pen.
Hey, look at this bag. How cute it is.
You are right, but wait. I think this one is cuter than that one.
But how about the price?
I think it is the most expensive right here.
I see. Do you want to buy the cheapest bag here?
No, I want. I want to buy the cute bag, but the price is cheaper than that one.
Okay, let's chat the seller.
So, is your pencil cheap?
Oh, yes, it is.
Is your pencil cheaper than Alim's pencil?
No, it's not. My pencil is as cheap as Alim.
Okay. So, is your pencil cheaper than Benny's pencils?
No, it's not. My pencil is more expensive than Benny's.
Oh, so Benny's pencils is the cheapest.
Yes, it is.
Hey Benny, I think I had seen that book.
This book?
Yeah.
This book is similar to Giant's book.
Oh, so that's why I had seen that before. By the way, you look like Giant.
What? Why so many people think like that?
In my opinion, you and Giant talk alike.
Oh, I see. So that's the reason.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. We hope that the video we present can be understood by you guys. And maybe this is not the end of our video, because in the future there will be some more videos with very interesting material. So like and subscribe to this video and channel so you don't miss the next video. See you later.